The officials tonight, and all three guys working their first All-Star game. Mike Callahan, along with Sean Corbin and Monty McCutcheon. The East has won 35. The West has won 20. The East has won the last two. Last year in Houston, the East victorious, 122-120, with LeBron taking MVP honors. Doug, you have coached the All-Star game. What are you saying to your guys during the course of these last couple of days?
Well, you know what? I think the tendency, Marv, when you start a game like this, these guys want to be so unselfish, and they want to make such spectacular plays. Sometimes the game can get a little sloppy early. So say, you know what? Just make good passes, the simple pass early in the game, and as the game goes on, and let's try the degree of difficulty things. But you don't want the game to get sloppy.
The degree of difficulty. And usually we have found that it gets to be a real game at the start of the fourth quarter.
You're right, but Doug, there is so much degree of difficulty early on. I remember last year we had 3 or 4 lob passes that sailed into the stands early on. These guys are nervous, they're ready to go, and they want to wow everybody, but they tend to get a little out of character to start the game.
Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan on the opening tip. And it's volleyball by Shaq to LeBron. So James picked up by Garnett. And here's Arenas with the first shot of the night.
Well, that didn't take long. Arenas, we talked about it earlier, has really not played much in his first 2 All-Star appearances. He's really determined to get some shots up tonight. I think he proved that there.
There's the lob, off the mark, but recovered, and Garnett puts it down.
Oh, Garnett's having a sensational season. We don't get to see him that often in Minnesota, leading the league in rebounding, has kept him in playoff contention.
Tim Duncan talking to Shaquille O'Neal as he backs in. Here's Shaq. And it's kept alive. Bosch of the Raptors off the mark.
See, I would think Shaq would like the fact that in most All-Star games anyway, he's not going to get double teamed. I mean, he faces everything in the regular season. He gets one-on-one coverage out here.
And Kobe Bryant gets a rise out of the crowd with that fadeaway bank shot. Here's Wade over McGrady.
He has been so good this year, Marv. He's really kept Miami in the heat with Shaq being out with those injuries.
And Pat Riley expected to return following the All-Star break after Ron Rothstein did a nice job. Here's the steal by Wade. Took it out of the hands of McGrady. Game is tied at 4. McGrady at the other end makes the turn on Arenas. Nowitzki. Rebounded by Bosch.
But what a pretty stroke. We saw him in the three-point contest last night. I think he came in second or third. Cabono, who was just incredible. But to watch Dirk Nowitzki take 25 straight jumpers, maybe the highest arcing jump shooter in the NBA. Just a beautiful stroke.
And here is Garnett. Ron James coming out of the pack. Wade tried to get it to Shaq, but broke it up. And here is Bryant setting it up for Nowitzki. Rebound Garnett. Slips it to Bryant. Kobe has given the West a 2-point lead. James using the pick and trying to find Shaq on a pick and roll.
Well, you know, LeBron coming off a great game the other night in Los Angeles on TNT before the All-Star break. Did a sensational job late in that game. This time he makes a nice little pass to Shaq, who just can't quite finish it. But I think the most impressive thing in that game that night is LeBron made his free throws under pressure in the fourth quarter, which was very, very important.
Here is Duncan. Now Bryant from way downtown. Nowitzki for Duncan.
Well, this is a huge lineup with Steve Nash sitting out because of the injury. Mike D'Antoni has inserted Dirk Nowitzki. So you've got 3 7-footers on that front line for the West.
Kobe tried to go behind the back. Wade accelerates, flips one up. The West with an 8-4 lead here in the early moments. Grady putting moves on Bosch. Duncan is wide open. Tim Duncan averaging 20 and 11 for the San Antonio Spurs, who have had their ups and downs, particularly on that recent rodeo road trip, but they still do have the 4th best record in the NBA.
And I think they're kind of laying in the weeds a little bit as Shaq gets underneath and can't get that little jumper to go. But now the Spurs are, what, 9 games behind Dallas, but they're going to be ready come playoff time. Duncan is healthy. Ginobili's having a great year. Parker, another all-star season.
Well, you know, they always use that trip, and they think it's a real bonding experience. Steve, you know that you've been through that before. This was probably the most competitive teams they played during that trip. You know, normally they go 7-1, 6-2. This time 4-4, but finished it with a great win against Detroit.
Shawn Marion coming on here early for Dirk Nowitzki. And here is Marion going to the left hand. Shawn Marion, who played his college ball here at Thomas & Mack for UNLV. And with the Phoenix Suns. Suns come in with the 2nd best record in the NBA at 39-13, although they've had their problems recently in the absence of Steve Nash. And that's a 3 for Gilbert Arenas. I did not hear Hibachi scream by Gilbert.
Or too early.
Or quality shot.
And it's last touched by O'Neal.
Now, this is something Arenas has been doing all season long. You go underneath that screen, he's just going to pull up. And he's got the ability, Doug, to shoot that ball from like 30 feet with ease. Pretty amazing stroke.
Remember last year in the playoffs, he had about a 40-footer to send that game into overtime against Cleveland in the playoffs.
Bryant rims out, rebounded by James. Outlets Arenas, who is ahead of the field. Dwight Howard, outstanding third-year player, has checked in for the first time as Kobe Bryant gets the crowd going. Here's the alley-oop for Dwayne Wade.
All right, game on. Guys have broken a sweat now. They're into it.
And
slowly, everybody seemed to be in slow motion, just kind of getting their legs underneath them. And then all of a sudden, Kobe with the reverse slam. And then at the other end, the alley-oop from LeBron to Wade. This crowd all of a sudden
move their veteran point guard. Now, the Los Angeles Lakers have been trying to get him traded. But, guys, I'm told that even though they haven't gotten much done with the Nets, they're trying to keep the talks alive. Now they're trying to involve the Portland Trail Blazers. The main piece would be reserve center Jamal McGlure, who would wind up going to Los Angeles and then be rerouted along with other players to New Jersey for Kidd. Now, there's no word on whether New Jersey is even interested in that kind of offer, although they could use a low post scorer like released a while and to have his expiring contract at season's end. That's what the Lakers are trying to do in order to get Jason Kidd into a gold uniform. Guys.
all right, Dave, as LeBron James puts it down on the reverse and off the court, Jason Kidd dealing with the much publicized divorce proceedings, much publicized in the New York, New Jersey area.
You know, Marvy's done an amazing job, though, not letting that affect his play. I mean, he's played terrifically through all this distraction. I think you have to really admire him being able to do that.
And I'd be shocked if he was traded, really. I mean, he's still the guy who sells tickets in New Jersey. And, you know, there's been talk about Vince Carter possibly being dealt because he's in the last year of his deal, or at least he has an opt-out clause this summer. But it'll be interesting to see if New Jersey pulls the trigger on any deal.
And now some shuffling. Josh Howard of the Mavericks has come on as Amari Stoudemire's checked in. Tony Parker of San Antonio.
Oh, yeah.
Nice pass. Dwight Howard with the bucket and a foul. Talking about all the substitutions being made, Doug, the major concern of the coaches is the distribution of playing.
Absolutely. We're going to see a lot of this young guy, Dwight Howard, because Shaq does not want to play a lot of minutes today. And, you know, Marv, that's one of the things you do. You sit down with your coaches. You say, guys, the one thing you have to help me with is getting the guys the playing time. So with about 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, you have the flexibility to play the guys who are playing the best. That gives you the best chance to win.
All right, for more of that, let's go to Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Mike D'Antoni looked at his coaching staff, said, who wants to keep track of the minutes? Alvin Gentry said, I do. I got experience at it. Yes, he did that for Doug Collins back in '97. Glenn Rice got a hot hand. Instead of substituting going by Doug's chart, he kept Glenn Rice in the game. No truth to the matter that he wanted the coach's share of the money. $35,000 for the winning team, $15,000 for the losers.
Yes, a vivid memory for Doug. Stoudemire, tip missed, and on a third attempt, a hat trick for Sean Marion.
Is there a quicker jumper in the NBA? I mean, down and then back up again.
Chauncey Billups of the Pistons on the floor for the first time. This is Dwight Howard of Orlando. He thought he was going to face some resistance.
And you see, he still has some work to do on his post game. I think he's still so young as Carmelo drains the 20-footer, but Howard's just going to get better and better. What's amazing to me is to watch him next to Amari Stoudemire. He is significantly bigger, especially in the upper body, than Amari.
Well, kicked around by LeBron James. Here comes Parker. Nice lead. Anthony was blocked. Played by Josh Howard. And it's tipped.
Like that was Jermaine O'Neal tipping the ball back into his own basket by accident.
Hesitation on the announcement as to who gets credit for the bucket. Apparently it's Stoudemire, the closest to that tip, and it was Jermaine O'Neal doing it, as they say in soccer, on his own goal.
And that's the one where usually all 5 guys are running to the other end, holding up their hand like, that was me, that was my tip, I got it.
Foul on Josh Howard. Here's LeBron James, a rare free throw appearance here in All-Star play.
Where Jermaine O'Neal has inside position, you're going to see him being pushed out of the play, and he goes up with that left hand and tips it in. Actually, you know, Steve, he actually is better around the basket with his left hand as an offensive player. That time, as Marv said, he tipped it into the wrong goal.
LeBron James shooting just under 70% at the line during the regular season. West now up by 3 points. Tony Parker now at the point. Here's Amari Stoudemire. Amari Stoudemire has come a long way to make it to the All-Star game. Back strong from the microfracture knee surgery. Played in only 3 games last season. Here is Jermaine O'Neal going last. But he established a goal that he wanted to come all the way back and make it as an All-Star.
I saw him in October play in a preseason game, and I had read that comment that he wanted to be an All-Star. I thought there was no chance. I mean, he just looked like he was so far away from being an effective player, but made a remarkable recovery.
Oh, off the glass, attempted for LeBron. He was not able to handle it. Here is Josh Howard. Well, we've seen a few of those in recent All-Star play.
Yeah, well, Tracy McGrady's done it a couple times. Vince Carter, we've seen in the past do that play.
West up by 5, just under 4 left in the first quarter. Here's James for 3. It's an air ball. So the ball back to the West. And now LeBron will take a seat. I have a feeling he had the thought he was going to be yanked momentarily, so get that last shot up.
As a player, you know that, Mark. You look over, you see the sub, say, I got to get one more up here before I sit down.
Rip Hamilton of the Pistons has come on for James. That's a 3 attempted by Howard, kept alive. Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony averaging better than 30 points a game, leading the NBA in scoring. He was a late ad due to an injury.
Well, he would have been a lock had he not been suspended by the NBA after Howard gets the follow off the Billups miss. But, you know, you're leading the league in scoring. You're playing out of your mind, and then all of a sudden a suspension, and then you go from a lock to not even on the roster. I'm happy for Carmelo that he got this second chance.
Stoudemire twisting his way inside. Amari Stoudemire with 6 points. West up by 7. Phillips and Hamilton. It's an all-Piston backcourt. Jermaine O'Neal is up front with Vince Carter of the Nets and Dwight Howard of the Orlando Magic. Howard with the rebound. Howard puts it down.
That guy's an amazing offensive rebounder. Marv, when he gets a little finesse in the post and gets a couple moves, he's going to be an unstoppable player in there.
Averaging just under 12 rebounds per game. Here's Stoudemire. Yes. And the foul.
Well, Amari Stoudemire, this is what he does for Phoenix. He runs the floor and finishes.
The first time, 2002, Tracy McGrady performed the trick in Philadelphia. And then Tracy did it a second time during the 2004 game in L.A. And you may recall 2005 in Denver, Vince Carter executed the most impressive of the three.
He likes to get a shot up every 7 seconds into the shot clock.
Well, Amari Stoudemire's got to know, you got to play along in this game. If they're going to throw the ball off the board, just get out of the way. Let them go.
But for Mike D'Antoni, this is like perfect basketball. Here's the alley-oop throw. Part of it, no one on Dwight Howard. And the West now leads 31-25. Tony Parker, Carmelo Anthony are at the guards. Amari Stoudemire up front from Dirk Nowitzki. Here is Parker. And Hamilton comes away with it. Hamilton with the lead. O'Neal had it knocked away. And as Stoudemire starts out, we get a whistle. Very few whistles in this first quarter. And there's Mehmet Okur of the Utah Jazz checking in for the first time. Foul was called on Hamilton.
How about Okur this year? How many big shots has he hit? Reminds me a little bit of Carmelo Anthony last season. He had about 8 or 9 game-winning or game-time jumpers. Seems like Okur's doing the same thing.
4 this year in the last 40 seconds to win games.
4 in the last
40 seconds to win a game.
To win games. Glad you have that number right in your head, Doug. That's good stuff. I mean, the computer up there.
Parker, and that outside shot has really improved with Tony Parker.
Put a lot of work into it. And Spurs hired Chip England, shooting coach, to work with him specifically. And the other thing he's done is he's improved his shot selection. Doesn't really settle for long threes anymore. In fact, barely ever shoots three-pointers.
Anthony backing up to the position that he wanted.
It's great to see Carmelo Anthony, who was having such a great year. He made a huge mistake in New York, let his team down, was suspended for 15 games. But you know what? The commissioner picked him, and I think that was a wonderful gesture because he should be here.
Carter spinning his way in and then able to recover. Chauncey Billups on the other side on the recovery of the miss by Carter. Here's the lead for Anthony. West opening up a 10-point lead. And this time Carter spins and connects.
I wish I could do that just one time. Just once. Forget about as many times. Just once.
You're not alone, Doug. Trust me.
Yeah.
Here is Ray Allen, who just came on. Rebounded by Howard. Hamilton on the handoff from O'Neal. Rip Hamilton having another outstanding season, averaging 22 a game in his second straight All-Star appearance. Last year, 4 members of the Pistons came off the bench. In fact, came off at the same time. Here is Parker. And it was just a second on the clock, and now time has run out in this first quarter. Eddie in his 4th season as the head coach of the Wizards, longtime assistant with the Nets and the Sacramento Kings. Here is Ray Allen for 3. One of the great pure shooters in the history of the game, Ray Allen of the Seattle Sonics.
You know, Marv, if teams are ever going to run plays today, it'll be after timeout situations. That was a play set up specifically to get Ray Allen the 3 in the opposite corner.
And as you see, the West setting a record for most field goal attempts in a quarter. An all-star game record as they attempted 39. Carter turns it over.
Well, to put that in perspective, most NBA teams average about 78 or 80 field goal attempts in a game, so they're on pace to get that by halftime.
19 of 39, shot well, just under 49%. Here's Hamilton. While the East at 14 of 31 in the first quarter, 45% from the field.
Rip Hamilton and Chauncey Billups, 2 great players for the Detroit Pistons. Here's Ray Allen unloading another 3, but they say every day they get reminded about greatness when they look up at the banners and say Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. That keeps driving them to be better players every day.
Shaquille O'Neal is back going at Mehmet Okur. Rebounded by Nowitzki. And here is McGrady for three. Tracy McGrady of the Houston Rockets in his 7th All-Star game. How about the Rockets? 33-19, 5th best record in the NBA. Jeff Van Gundy has done a terrific job with a team that has played, for the most part, without Yao Ming.
17-8 without Yao, and McGrady's been the difference. I mean, he's the one guy on that team who can really create a shot, create offense for his teammates. What a remarkable season it's been. The last 2 years, they've fallen apart without those guys.
There you have it. Off the backcourt, you knew it's going to happen at least once. Phillips with the setup for Carter. The West up 48-35. Nowitzki from downtown.
Look at the three-point shooting the West has now. Okur, McGrady, Nowitzki, Allen, and who is that though? Josh Howard over there. All guys can make three-pointers, so they're going to space the floor and let it fly.
And that's what Mike D'Antoni likes to do anyway. I mean, that's what his Suns teams do in the regular season. So Mike obviously very comfortable with this lineup.
And the West 4 of 5 from the three-point land in this second quarter. The foul is called on Vince Carter. National television coverage of the NBA continues Wednesday on ESPN. It'll be the Heat and the Rockets starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Saturday, February 24th on NBA TV, it's the Nuggets and the Mavericks. And then next Sunday on ABC, Bulls and Pistons, followed by the Cavaliers and the Heat, with coverage starting at 12:30 in the East.
My favorite time of year after the All-Star game, you can see teams starting to see the finish line. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Miami Heat. All season long, they've said we're going to pick it up when we get everybody healthy. A lot of teams to watch sprinting into the finish for playoff positioning.
And Caron Butler now has checked in for the first time, making his All-Star debut. He has had an outstanding season with the Wizards. Butler with the shot, rebounded by Howard. And here comes the West. Oh, that's intended for Allen. Miscommunication, the ball back to the East.
Well, remember, without Nash, there's not really a point guard on the floor. So most of these guys used to getting out, running lanes. They're not the ones making the pass. They're usually the ones receiving the pass.
West going with a combination of McGrady and Allen handling the ball without a true point guard. O'Neal, he missed the stuff. Gets it right back. Well, Rip Hamilton with an unselfish move.
Wise move there. He saw Shaq's eyes got real big, and he said, "Give it back to me." And Rip did the smart thing.
For Shaq, that is his first field goal, 1 of 6 from the floor.
Well, I don't know if you saw it. Then he planted a kiss on Tracy McGrady, kind of Dick Bavetta style, as he ran back.
Here's Okur and a foul. Oh, foul is called on O'Neal. Here's that play a moment ago as Shaq comes down, makes very close contact with Tracy McGrady.
In 1976, at the All-Star game in Philadelphia, Marvin, was my first All-Star game, and I actually taped 2 red-on-round balls before the game. It was such a great honor to just be a part of that. He was an amazing man.
You were the player involved. I used to love watching those. CBS was doing the games at the time. And he would just boss you guys around.
Oh, yeah.
How I enjoyed that. LeBron James with the stuff. He'd say, Collins, get over here. He would go, Russell, you get over here.
That's exactly.
That was back when they had the old horse games, too, between NBA players at halftime of the telecast. That was great stuff.
All right, here's Nowitzki. Well, Dirk Nowitzki got the step. That's his second bucket. 54-39, the West with the big lead. Ron James back on the floor, as is Gilbert Arenas. The lead for Dwayne Wade, but he slipped, lost his balance. Now McGrady for Marion.
Is the Matrix. Shawn Marion.
The East with Gilbert Arenas, Dwayne Wade in the backcourt, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, and Caron Butler on the front line. Arenas is off, and they let it carry out of bounds. Let's go to David Aldridge with Vince Carter. David?
Hey guys, Vince Carter. Another year, another All-Star game for you. I guess these never get old.
They never get old. It's you go to a new city, for the All-Star game. New guys, it's big fun every time. It's always something new every year.
There's somebody this year that you've gotten to know a little bit that maybe you didn't know as well.
Probably Karan. To sit with him, we sit next to each other on the bus and in the locker room, just talking. So, it's one thing. It's great when you play against these guys and you enjoy the competition. But it's another thing when you come here and you get to know guys on a different level. And it's always fun to come here and have a good time and put our battles aside to try to win 35 grand.
All right, you can save me a lot of phone calls. What are you doing at the end of the year?
I'll be in Florida.
Yeah, I mean contractually.
Oh, we don't know yet. I don't know. We're gonna see. I know that's the big question, but we'll see.
Well, I guess we're gonna leave it there, Marv, for now.
Hi, Marv.
Finn's giving a straight answer. We'll see.
Sounds like David's got more phone calls to make.
I also have the same feeling at the All-Star game, Doug. I got to know Steve much better last couple of days. Shaquille O'Neal with his second field goal. Garnett off the rebound. And now here comes Arenas. Oh, whipping by Marion with the dribble and a foul. He's tripped up.
Gilbert Arenas has had such a great first part of the season, and Steve, you highlighted him in the Open. He's starting to get a little tired at the end of before the All-Star break, and I think that Eddie Jordan's a little concerned. All the extra shooting going in late at night, he might have to monitor that a little bit to get his legs back fresher for the finish.
It's interesting because you become obsessed with something. He likes to go in and shoot at nights at 3 o'clock in the morning. He just goes crazy, which has made him great, but may also hurt him, as you said.
Oh, Stoudemire with the follow. Beautiful look-away pass to set up that 3-on-1. And the West has opened up a 20-point lead. Is Wade, O'Neal, another opportunity, and nearly took the backboard down, which we do not want to see. That is broken up. West maintains possession.
Kind of surprised to see Shaq back into this game. When Eddie Jordan talked about playing him for a quick stint at the beginning of each half. Maybe Shaq told him he wanted to go back in.
Well, he's a very proud guy. He didn't play very well his first stint. He was 0 for 3 his first 4 or 5 minutes. I think he wants to, play well before he sits down.
There's Parker. So Tony Parker again able to hit the jumper. Tony Parker, guys, come a long way after being drafted 28th by the Spurs back in 2001. That's a 3 for LeBron James.
Well, you think about the Spurs. They win the lottery and they get Tim Duncan. They get Tony Parker late in the first round. They get Manu Ginobili in the second round. They've done a wonderful job managing the cap.
5.5 remaining in this first half. And the West up by 17. Shaquille O'Neal on the follow. And nearly took the rim with him.
Hey, watch how bad I cross Kobe up. I'm gonna yank him. Hey, we all get over here. Come here.
Yep. Man, Carrot Top a big dude, man. Yeah, look at him.
That's a Kobe Bryant move. Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas.
And obviously, Gilbert Arenas has some plans for Kobe Bryant. And here is Bryant at the other end.
You think Kobe heard that audio during that timeout?
I got your cross up right here, Gilbert.
Joe Johnson, first-time All-Star from the Atlanta Hawks. Parker behind the back. And that is last touched by the East, and now perhaps a change on the call. Well,
we spoke to Kobe before the game, and I talked to him about the game today, and hadn't been a whole lot of fun for the Lakers as of late. They've lost 11 of 15, a lot of injuries. Here's the alley-oop that's knocked away, but Lakers have really struggled with all the injuries to their front line.
Arenas for 3. So the ball back to the West.
Well, the other guy they miss is Luke Walton. He's had that ankle injury. He kind of goes unnoticed sometimes, but he really ties that offense together, that triangle offense. He keeps the ball moving, and I think when he gets back, and Maybe Kwame Brown gets healthy. That's a team that could make a pretty deep run in the playoffs. I like their team when they're clicking.
Parker played by Arenas. Duncan, Garnett, and Anthony on the front line with Bryant Parker in the backcourt. And there's the teardrop. Tony Parker mastered that shot. That one would not fall.
I'll tell you, this East lineup looks awfully familiar. It's basically the national team from the World Championships.
Carmelo Anthony tomahawks it.
And that was the best player on that team, Carmelo Anthony. He had a terrific summer. Actually was the player of the year for USA men's basketball from the men's side, and just had a spectacular summer.
Well, the one guy who didn't make that roster was Arenas. And remember, he used that motivation to torch Phoenix and Washington and all the teams of the coaches of that national team.
And said he wants to go up against Duke University. LeBron James puts it down. Mike Krzyzewski, the head coach of the national team. Garnett is fouled.
I loved it, though, the other day when Gilbert got 9 against Portland. He said it's because Eddie Jordan was preaching defense the whole week. I should have gone for 10 steals instead of 50 points.
For the West, Kevin
Foul on Wade. And now Garnett to the line, an 84% free throw shooter. Kevin Garnett in his 10th All-Star game. MVP of the All-Star game in Atlanta 3 years ago, scoring 37 points in that double overtime win by the West. Now let's go to Craig Sager with Steve Nash.
Well, the West playing without the two-time reigning MVP, but they still put up 39 field goal attempts in the first quarter. I think a lot of players in an All-Star game want to play the Phoenix Suns style.
Absolutely. We try to make every game an All-Star game.
3 Phoenix Suns selected. You're sitting out, but you have obviously Sean Marion and Amari Stoudemire. How surprised are you that he came back, Amari, to an All-Star form?
Well, it's just been exciting for us, obviously. I think you never know what to expect. And, although physically he's doing great, we're all just excited at how mentally he's grown as a player and a person. And, it takes a lot of toughness. We're proud of him.
I know you're sitting out tonight, but hopefully we can see you Tuesday night when you guys take on the Clippers. Any chance?
Yeah, there's a chance. I hope to practice tomorrow. So if I can get through practice tomorrow, then I'd love to be there with you in L.A.
All right, good luck for the shoulder. Back to you, Marv.
Steve being very kind. He'd love to be with Craig in L.A.
First time Craig's ever heard that.
And as Bryant makes his move, Johnson is called for the hold. Ron James with 13 points now to lead the East. 9 of his 13 have come here in this second quarter, but the East trailing by 18 points.
Because it is an All-Star game, so an 18-point deficit is more like a 5 or 6 point deficit in a normal game.
Now, Marvin, I saw one in Washington a few years ago. It was 21 down with 9 minutes to go, and the East came back and won that game. Iverson was terrific in D.C.
Combination of Allen Iverson, Stephen Marbury down the stretch. Wade's reverse rejected emphatically.
Timeout, East.
The Governor Arnold on hand, along with his wife, Maria Shriver. And there is Diddy. He was here last night for All-Star Saturday night, as was Barry Bonds. And also courtside Prince, who is flanked in the shadows there by Ludacris and Dave Chappelle. And we'll continue. Just under 3 left in this first half. Arenas on a quick release 3.
He shoots that ball so easily. Got such tight rotation on that ball. That ball just holds its flight so beautifully.
He's 3 of 6. He has 8 points. The West up by 17. Parker with the lead for Duncan. And slips it right back inside. Kobe Bryant. 12 points for Kobe. Wayne Wade, Gilbert Arenas in the backcourt. LeBron James with Chris Bosh and Joe Johnson up front. Wade changed his mind. It was deflected. And off the save, here comes Carmelo Anthony. Parker for Anthony. 54-53 West. James, 4-3, and he has found the touch in the second quarter.
Now that's an area of his game he's really improved, really from his first year to his second year. That's when his shooting really got better. His fundamentals, his technique is better, and he's doing more of the same things on a daily basis repetitively to be a better shooter.
16 points for LeBron. 5 of 5 here in the second quarter. And Kobe Bryant with a 3, so he has 15. 77-56. Western Conference All-Stars have the lead.
Doug Kobe's got that early lead for the MVP. You called it early. We'll see.
This is his kind of game. He loves this. There's Tim giving him the unselfish plays. Tim Duncan is so great to play with these kind of games. I mean, if he gets a shot, fine. If not, he loves to make passes.
By the way, he's exactly the same way in the regular season. He doesn't care about stats, always trying to empower his teammates, make them better. Unbelievable in the locker room. He's just an amazing player in person.
That's a 3. Joe Johnson in his 6th year out of Arkansas. First All-Star game. Selected to replace the injured Jason Kidd. Parker, and it's Ron Butler, Dwight Howard, Joe Johnson, the Meadow Core, Josh Howard have all moved forward to All-Star status. Half-minute left in this first half. O'Brien shoots the 3. I thought he was going to fire from half court for a moment. 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Not that this matters in this particular situation.
I was about to call out 5 for 4.
Right. Arenas gets it back. Final seconds. And here is Howard coming up short. Howard is fouled with 0.3 of a second left of the half.
You know, you were speaking a while ago, Marv, about guys' first-time appearance in the All-Star game, and I can speak from personal appearance. The first time you come here, when you go back to your team, you go back with a different confidence and all. It's such a incredible experience, and I can tell you, you're never the same player. You just carry a different confidence about yourself.
So, Dwight Howard at the line for 2 shots coming up on the T-Mobile halftime report. Live performances from Tony Braxton, Cirque du Soleil, and Christina Aguilera. And Ernie, Charles, and Kenny will have first half analysis. And I put Ernie, Charles, and Kenny in that same sentence with Cirque du Soleil. The entertainment that we're going to see at halftime.
Well, they're spreading the minutes around, Melo, but you made the most of your 10 with 12 points. How would you describe your first All-Star experience?
It's just fun out here, man, to be out on the court with these guys. You know, I'm happy to be here. It's an honor for me to be here, and I'm just having fun.
Doug Collins is mentioning what making an All-Star team does to a player's confidence. We saw what it did for you being on part of USA. What does this mean?
You know, it boosts my confidence up another notch. Now, hopefully I can carry this on to my regular season.
We've seen teams with big leads in All-Star games let them slip away. You guys are up by 20. What do you expect in the second half?
We want to keep it up. You know, we want to open this game up, and we want to win. They won the last 2 years, and we want to win this year.
All right, thanks a lot. The score at
Brady, Sean Marion, along with Amari Stoudemire, Josh Howard, and Kobe Bryant. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, we've talked about teams having big leads in the All-Star game only to have them evaporate. Mike D'Antoni says it doesn't matter. This lead's going to stay because they don't have the defensive players that they had last year. Plus, he says we have too much offense and we're going up and down the court. As for a surprise MVP, Dan D'Antoni, who's also keeping track of the minutes, says Tony Parker is going to get a lot of playing time, and he is the only true point guard, so it's up to him to run that show.
Tony Parker played 14 minutes in the first half, 3 of 6 from the field, 6 points and 5 assists. Bryant gets inside and he draws the foul. How about 79 points in the first half? The All-Star game record, foul was called on Wade. The All-Star game record, 87 points back in 1989, scored by the West. A West team that included Alex English, Karl Malone, Hakeem Olajuwon, Dale Ellis, and John Stockton.
You know, it's interesting. If you look at the West, now remember how big they were to get started? You had Dirk Nowitzki, you had Garnett, and Tim Duncan. Now look at their Stoudemire, Sean Marion basically on the front line with Josh Howard, Tracy McGrady, and Kobe. So small ball for Mike D'Antoni, which is what he loves to do.
LeBron James handling against Josh Howard. This is Gilbert Arenas of the Wizards and Dwayne Wade of the Heat, able to slice his way through. Back comes Bryant. Nice shovel to Marion. Sean Marion from Kobe Bryant. Josh Howard back to break it up.
That's exactly the lineup Mike D'Antoni wants. You just talked about it, Doug. And there's Sean Marion, even amongst this incredibly fast group of 5 players for the West. He's always the first one down the floor.
A minute gone by, third quarter. Dwight Howard starting at the center for Shaquille O'Neal, started the game, and here's Howard rejected by Stoudemire. Howard again.
When he starts getting a little touch, here's a steal here by Wade quickly, so the West turn it over, and then he turn it right back again as Kobe Bryant gets a steal.
Bryant with the lob that sails into the crowd.
Looked like Sean Marion was going to steal that lob from Josh Howard. Nobody gets anything.
And Bosch able to beat the West down court. The West in the first half converted 35 field goals, 35 for 64. That is one shy of the spin move by Amari Stoudemire. 35 field goals made, one shy of the all-time All-Star game record, also established in 1989 by the West. And Dwight Howard, the East, coming out very active in this third quarter. They're now down 85-65. Stoudemire,
if he makes that shot, you know, with the way he rolls to the basket and finishes it, when he can pick and pop and make those 15 to 17-foot jump shots.
It's a 3 by Arenas. Stoudemire now 7 of 10, 15 points. Let's check in with David Aldridge. David?
Well, guys, this is a big weekend for Eddie Jordan, East coach. It's his first All-Star appearance as a head coach. His team is doing very well, leading the Southeast Division. But Eddie Jordan still doesn't really know that he belongs here. He told us before the game, he said, I'm not Pat Riley. I'm not Chuck Daly. I really don't know if I belong here. And it was an odd thing for a coach to say. Last night, while everybody else was out partying, Eddie Jordan said he was watching tape of the Minnesota game. That's their first opponent after the All-Star break.
Las Vegas, Jay-Z and Beyonce. Adam Sandler. Actor Chris Tucker. Gabrielle Union, along with Gabriela Solis, Eva Longoria, the fiancée of Tony Parker and Grammy Award winner Mary J. Blige. And Eva and Tony have set the date. Reportedly, here's Wade, the shot blocked from behind by McGrady. You will need your passport, Steve and Doug, for that wedding. And Sean Marion comes up with the loose ball. Amari Stoudemire again. He has 17 points.
You going to finish the story and tell us where the wedding's going to be?
I'm only passing on what I have read, that it will be out of the country.
Okay.
I know you, Steve, as a former teammate of Tony Parker, already received the save a date card.
Still hoping.
91-65, the West on top. Bryant with the lead for Stoudemire.
That's the Sean Marion Boris Diaw play. This time they run it out of a timeout with Kobe Bryant and Amari Stoudemire.
Another East turnover. Here comes Marion. And James, with no one in sight, is able to play that lob from Wade.
You know, last year, remember the Detroit Pistons, Flip Saunders put in his 4 guys, and they sort of made the little run to get the team back in the game. What are the East going to do today to get back in this game? I mean, it's a 28-point game right now.
When the 4 Pistons came on last season, it became a real basketball game.
Yes, it did.
Took away the schoolyard aspect. Arenas for Bosch. And, Bosch shows us his windmill.
Well, Mike D'Antoni loves this lineup that he has. You get the feeling that this is like his dream fivesome. Right here, you got all 5 guys, the ability to handle the ball, pass it, jump, shoot threes. Really impressive lineup.
And now the substitutions are coming on.
That's a great play, but the East has got to stop exchanging field goals. When you're down, you've got to start getting some defensive stops. And Sean Marion, Steve, you talked about it a while ago, no matter who's on the floor, he's going to find a way to get out ahead of the pack and get those easy dunks.
So Eddie Jordan sending on Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton, that all-Piston backcourt. And he has Teron Butler with Jermaine O'Neal and Vince Carter. Hamilton played by Allen. Hamilton able to swing inside.
That's one Husky schooling the other.
Carmelo Anthony. Mike D'Antonio's also made some changes. Stoudemire remaining on the floor, and he's on fire. That's 5 for 5 for Amari Stoudemire here in the third quarter. Overall, he's 10 of 13 for 21 points.
Got a beautiful stroke, and Doug, you talked about it earlier. I mean, the fact that he can make that shot when he's already so fast, and the ability to get to the rim, it's almost impossible to guard the guy when he's knocking down this shot with consistency.
Well, sometimes when you go through an injury and you can't run and jump, you have to work on different phases of your game. We've seen guys before hurt their right hands and develop a left hand. Well, I think Amari spent a lot of time, just working on his release, shooting the basketball. And once you start trusting that in a game, then the growth of your game, it just keeps expanding.
Reminder, tune in this week to TNT for exclusive NBA coverage on a special Tuesday night. It's the Nuggets and the Spurs, followed by the Suns and the Clippers. Doug, I know you, Kevin, will be on hand Tuesday night in LA. Coverage starting 8 o'clock Eastern time. Then on Thursday, another NBA doubleheader. The Bulls take on the Cavs in game 1, followed by the Heat and the Mavericks. Coverage starting at 7. Some sparks have been flying between the Heat and the Mavericks after Dirk Nowitzki had said earlier in the year the Mavs gave away the NBA championship, and then Wayne Wade questioned Dirk's leadership in clutch situations. We'll be there for that one on Thursday night. Miami and Dallas in Dallas. Here's Allen on a quick release, and it's fielded by Carmelo Anthony.
Well, that whole dispute was eventually diffused by Wade. Remember, Mark Cuban actually wrote a blog that really ripped into Wade, and it looked like it was going to get out of hand, and then Wade just kind of laughed it off, and I don't think we'll hear much more of it.
Vince Carter is fouled. He will head to the line. There's Dirk. His Mavericks 44-9. Avery Johnson's team with the best record in the NBA. They have won their last 9 games.
The thing that impresses me about the Mavericks is they can beat you in a lot of different ways. They can beat you in a 120-point game, and then we saw the other night on TNT, they score 80-77. They can beat you in a defensive struggle. So this is a team that is playing with an incredible edge, and I think we're going to see a lot of Dirk Nowitzki in the fourth quarter. Mike D'Antoni said he's going to save him and let him play maybe the last 10 minutes of the fourth period.
And you look at the records in the Western Conference, and the first 5 teams in the West have the top 5 records in the entire NBA.
Well, keep in mind, too, you've got a lot of teams that are about to get healthy. Yao Ming coming back soon as Stoudemire swoops in, and this is the runner. But Yao Ming, you've got several Lakers ready to come back. Those West playoffs are going to be murdered.
Kobe Bryant setting it up for Sean Marion. Here is Butler. Rebounded by Anthony. Sean Marion still a big favorite in this area. Played the 1 year at UNLV, but lives here in the offseason. Most of his family is here. Stoudemire has taken over in this third quarter. Now it's 23 points in all.
I did the first game of the year, saw the Lakers and Phoenix. There's no way in the world I could have dreamed that he could have played at this level this early after the way he struggled early in the season.
Butler coming up short. Stoudemire with 12 of his 23 here in the third. We still have nearly 5 minutes to play. Anthony. Back comes Hamilton. There's Carter with him. The lead for Carter too far. And it's Marion ahead of the field and shows us his version of the windmill. Timeout, says Eddie Jordan.
See, Rip Hamilton. the simple play. But once again, the Matrix out on the break with a beautiful dunk in the web for 31 in honor of Reggie Miller. So a lot of TNT connections with Sean Marion.
Here's Carter on a fadeaway. Chased down by Parker.
Out of bounds.
And the ball is deflected out of bounds. Last touch by Parker. Let's go to Craig.
Well, Marv, you're talking about Tony Parker being engaged to Eva Longoria. I just talked to her a little while ago. She goes, well, I sent Marv an invitation. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten it yet. By the way, the wedding is in France in July.
Now I was concerned about Steve with getting to save the date. I've already forwarded my answer. Hamilton now with 8 points.
You told me you didn't know where the wedding was. You couldn't have answered.
Well, it's actually, I can't reveal where it is. That's another three for Ray Allen, his third of the night.
I think he has the most beautiful shot in the NBA. He can shoot off the move, off the dribble. He can shoot contested, standing still. He's a total package to me as a shooter.
And a nice move by Phillips off the hesitation. It has been all West, though. The East had the lead only once. Back in the first quarter, they led 15-14. Allen again trying from downtown. Here's Phillips pulling it up. That would have been a two. Hamilton. Duncan with the rebound. Anthony. Carmelo Anthony putting the speed on. He has 16 points.
Well, we've already seen 2 timeouts in this quarter from Eddie Jordan. Very rare in an all-star game for a coach to call a timeout, but he's been upset with his defense. That kind of reminds me last week. Remember, he was so upset with his team, the Wizards, regarding their defense. Then he had that exchange with Gilbert Arenas. So a lot of drama in Washington the last couple of weeks.
Yes, they were talking defensive philosophy. It was a players-only meeting, and then a meeting between Arenas and Jordan. And Eddie says now that all's been cleared up. Here's Allen. 110-80. The West on top. O'Neal, yes. Jermaine O'Neal of the Indiana Pacers. Playing through a sore right knee. Made the All-Star team last year, but sat out due to injury. But including that, it's a three again for Allen. 6 All-Star appearance for Jermaine O'Neal. Allen has 12 points. He's hit 4 from beyond the arc.
What a tough year it's been for Seattle playing basketball this season.
The Ray is 5th year as a member of the Sonics after 6 seasons with
spot-up shooter, and that's what separates him, I think.
I just heard the cry of Hibachi, which tells me we want to go to David Aldridge and Gilbert Arenas. David?
Gilbert, I suspect there was an MVP kind of thought to you today going in. You're down 31 going into the fourth quarter. How are you going to get that MVP?
Ooh, that's less than likely. We had good shots early, but we didn't make anything, and they got a lot of fast breaks. Most likely it's going to be somebody on that West team. So, we'll see who finishes off with it.
His first All-Star appearance for Caron Butler, your Wizards teammate. First appearance for Eddie Jordan as the head coach. What has the weekend been like for you three?
Oh, it's been great. We had a time to enjoy ourselves out here. It was more about, family than anything. So I know, Caron's here, celebrating, Eddie's celebrating, I'm celebrating. So, hopefully Caron can make a layup out here, so he can at least go home with 2 points.
All right, you're going into the second half of the season in first place in your division. What's the state of the team right now?
Well, Miami's right behind us. They're heating up right now. Orlando's, right around the corner. So we have to get on our high horse, separate, so we can win our division.
You could do something about Orlando by stepping on Dwight's foot right now.
I'll make that work.
I'm not advocating violence or anything, Marv.
All right, David. Caron Butler incidentally 0 for 6 from the field. Gilbert Arenas referring to Caron perhaps making a layup somewhere along the way.
Well, he knows that feeling. He was 0 for 4 last year, so he's been there, done that. But, Mark, to follow up on that report, Washington 5 games ahead in the loss column on the Miami Heat. Miami with 26 losses, Washington with 21. They play each other 3 times in the second part of the season, so it'll be interesting if Miami can catch Washington.
Phillips for Carter. Went up with the left hand and now handled by Anthony. The West with 51 field goals. They have 40 assists on the 51. That's number 52 as Tony Parker is able to take it the distance.
Start getting back to that's the standings in that Southeast Division. What makes that most interesting, I think, is that Vince Carter with the hook shot. Miami, if they don't win the division, they're going to have a low seed, and you could potentially see a Detroit-Miami matchup early in the playoffs. And most people feel those are the two best teams in the conference.
A little bit like last year, Dallas and San Antonio in the semifinals.
Dane O'Neal from Vince Carter. Coming up on 15 seconds to play in this third quarter. Nowitzki.
Is he the best big shooter ever?
I can't think of anybody who could compare. I mean, at that size, there have been a lot of great shooters at 6'8", 6'9", Larry Bird, Rick Barry,
Bob McAdoo,
Eddie Johnson, but 6'11", 7 feet.
Trail by 2.
Miami needs someone to step up here.
Okay, Dwayne. Let's get a nice open shot. No, dog. Just dunk it. Now, Dwayne. Kiss it off the glass. Kiss it? Take it in and dunk on him. He's a large man, Dwayne. Hey, do what you do. Dunk on him. Still time for a jump shot. What? Dwayne. Here we go. Don't do it. Left off, baby. No. Yeah, baby. Do it again. Do it again.
TV, and we are seeing it being utilized right here as we come to Craig Sager and Tony Parker. Craig?
Tony, 119 points in 3 quarters. Talk a little bit about the style, and are you guys running any plays at all?
We're playing Phoenix style. Push it up and try to score as much points as we can.
Phoenix style. When you go back to San Antonio, you can probably coach.
Then we go back to a half court. Then we go back to a half court. We'll slow it down. But for now, we'll try to score a lot of points.
Sounds like you lost your voice. You've been hanging out with Charles Barkley at night?
I've been partying too much with Charles Barkley. I have no more voice.
All right, we mentioned the upcoming wedding. Tell us how excited you are about getting married to Eva.
Very exciting. Playing's doing great, and actually Eva's doing everything. I'm just going to show up and say yes.
Okay, Marv said he's going to show up too.
No, he's not invited. No.
Oh, false information. That's why he didn't know where it was. Back to you, Marv.
Wait a second. Craig is the person who said I was invited. I am really hurt now the way he said it, though.
Marv, I did my best. I asked him if you could come.
Well, that was a rejection. Yes. Fourth quarter is underway. The West is up 119 to 91. Here is Kevin Garnett. The West adds to the lead. The most lopsided victory in All-Star play, 1966. The East won by 43 games, and the West 43 points, and the West could be headed in that direction. LeBron James with a 3. He now has 21. McGrady to the crossover. Rebounded by O'Neal.
That's kind of a Manu Ginobili move, like a crossover with the same hand back and forth. Interesting move from McGrady.
Memento Cole. That's his first field goal in his first All-Star game.
Oh, you talk about the Utah Jazz. Okur, Darren Williams having a terrific year at the point guard position. Carlos Boozer, who was an all-star. So the revitalization of that Utah Jazz team looks like they're going to be in the playoffs. And how often we saw Stockton and Malone here for all those so many years.
Jazz at 35-17. They won their last 6 games. One of the NBA's surprise teams right from the start.
And I don't think anybody plays harder. I mean, Jerry Sloan puts an imprint on his team every season. The hard cuts, the screens, and they do it every single night. It's amazing.
Garnett turned back by O'Neal. And the West maintains possession.
Well, the interesting thing about the philosophy of the Phoenix Suns is don't foul. We want to keep the game moving. And for the Utah Jazz, if you go in there, they're going to foul you hard. I mean, you're going to take hard, tough fouls.
Garnett to the step back. 7 points for Kevin Garnett.
We've been talking about Dirk Nowitzki and the shooting touch of a big man. Kevin Garnett possesses one of the best strokes of any big man ever.
O'Neal and Shaq. with the follow. He has 10.
And Kevin Garnett has worked so hard on his shot. I remember when he was rookie, his shot was so flat, and he really worked on lifting that shot and worked a lot with Kevin McHale. There's another great big man shooter. We got these big guys out here stepping out on the floor, putting on a clinic.
Meadow Core, excellent on the pick and pop as a member of the Jazz. Good passer, handles the ball well for a big guy at 6'11", 260 pounds. Nice look away from LeBron James to Dwayne Wade. West up by 27 points. Marion stepping into three-point territory.
Here we go, the Diesel. We knew we'd break it out here before long.
Put between the legs. The Meadow Core enjoying it. And looks to finish it off, but came up short. Marion. So Sean Marion able to score to give the West a 29-point lead.
Every big man wants to be a guard, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that is, it was McGrady or Wade, but a timeout has been called.
Magic O'Neal up on the top of the circle area. Look at it. The crossover, the inside out, and then Carmelo rolling over with laughter.
Gooseneck. Yeah. Gooseneck. That was a cherry bomb. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. Hey, watch out.
You were surprised on that one, the one I threw to you? Out of you?
No, I just can't jump. It's as simple as that, all right? Kissed on the lips. Oh, get out of here. Barker and Bavetta kissed on the lips? Yeah. Show me the footage. I don't believe that one. Where you been?
Might have been happier had he not been smooched on the lips.
Wade goes glass. And the West now leads 129-104. Marv Albert, Steve Kerr, Doug Collins, Craig Sager, David Aldridge working the sidelines. We have 7:40 remaining in this fourth quarter. Bryant open for three.
But Dwayne Wade tried to sneak around behind Okur to get the steal. At the last moment, he felt him coming, and then Kobe wide open at the three-point line.
47 assists. That was number 47 just a moment ago. That is an all-star record. Dwight Howard gets inside. The previous record, 46 in 1984, pulled off by the West in an overtime game. Magic Johnson with 22 of those 46. Wow. Kobe Bryant now looking to impress the MVP voters.
Here's my ballot right here, guys.
After that move, man.
24 points, 10 of 17 from the field for Bryant. And Sean Marion with the reverse dunk. He has 18 points. The other contenders, Amari Stoudemire, 11 of 15 from the field, 23 points. Sean Marion would have to be considered in that group. Allen had it deflected aside by Johnson, so the ball back to the east.
And, you know, it's amazing about Sean Marion, whether he plays for the Suns and just runs and activity, gets 20 and 10. Here we are tonight, sort of the same thing, 18 points and 8 rebounds, 4 assists. So it's like you could just pencil that in no matter what team he plays on.
Doug, did you have a motivational talk with Kobe prior?
I did. I did. I said, you cannot let me down, Kobe. You guys have lost 11 of 15. I've already bet Steve Kerr before the game here.
But this is tainted because I didn't realize you actually have a vote in the process.
This might be the deciding ballot, too. So
yeah. That's off then, pal.
Dwight Howard with the bucket, and he is fouled, so he will go to the line looking for his 17th points. Stoudemire with his 4th personal foul. National television coverage of the NBA continues Wednesday on ESPN. The Heat and the Rockets starting 9 o'clock Eastern time. Saturday, February 24th, next Saturday, NBA TV. It's the Nuggets and the Mavericks. And then next Sunday on ABC, the Bulls and the Pistons, followed by the Cavaliers and the Heat. So they got a 4-point play out of it. Bosch with his 6th point. 136-110, the West on top.
You know, to follow up a while ago on that sound package, and you heard LeBron James say gooseneck. That's what Dwight Howard says to himself when he shoots the free throw to make himself follow through. So that's what he was making reference to when he was sitting on the bench.
Kobe getting the hop. He now has 26 points. He's 11 of 18 from the field. LeBron James working very hard, splitting through several members of the West All-Star squad, and then able to finish with the reverse. And James on defense trying to stop Kobe. Bryant too strong on that shot.
Kobe's got a little something going with LeBron right now. Tried to steal the ball from him last time.
Oh, Joe Johnson.
Well, they just matched up the other night in L.A. LeBron had 38. Kobe had a big night, 36. And LeBron, they won that game going into the All-Star break. All that stuff registers with Kobe. You know that.
Anthony. Another possession for the West. Stoudemire off the dribble with a beautiful feed to Anthony.
I think everybody's waiting for Denver here now the last 30 games or so. Get Allen Iverson back healthy. He and Carmelo Anthony really have not played that much together. Can they make a run?
Here's James from downtown.
Well, question with Denver, is it too late? You know, it's so hard to get something going this late in the season when you have guys who really haven't played together.
James got picked off, and Bryant slipped it over to Howard.
I believe Kobe Bryant is the most complete offensive player in the game. I think it starts with his footwork, his ability to create off the dribble, to get into the post. Look at this spectacular play. We saw this twice from him. He's been spectacular.
7-footers starting for the West, but not just any 7-footers. Very versatile. 7.6 rebounds, 4 assists in just 14 minutes. Talk a little about this great lineup you guys have.
I'm 6'11" the first off. First off, I'm 6'11".
Yeah, one of those sneakers, they makes you 7 foot.
Right. I'm 6'11" and some quarters. Interesting group. You know, since we've been in the West, we've always, you know, even when Rasheed was here on the West Coast, we've always had a kind of a big lineup. Now, you know, Yao 7-6 has always been a big lineup.
Your 10th All-Star game. What does it mean to you? It seems like you're one of those that's never changed. You always have as much fun as you did in your first.
The whole thing is to enjoy yourself while you're here. You know, you battle these guys night in, night out. It's kind of good. It's kind of good to come out here and interact with them.
Nobody has more on their shoulders than you do in the regular season. You got the Minnesota Timberwolves in the playoff hunt right now. What do you expect in the second half of the year?
You know what? We got to come out. We got to come out second half and be ready, man. We know that this is our push right here. We got to make our push immediately. I mean, I think we started in Washington, the back-to-back with Charlotte. Those are going to be 2 big games for us.
Congratulations, another All-Star appearance. We always like to see it.
Let me ask you something. What you got on tonight? What's this?
Brioni and Pucci.
Pucci? Pronounce what?
Pucci.
Back to you, Mark.
Kevin Garnett always attacking Craig Sager. Parker putting it up for Stoudemire. Well, just a moment ago, we had a series of Elvis impersonators stuffing, and it's Gilbert Arenas who joined the line, and that had to get the Washington coaching staff crazy.
That's why he's Gilbert. That's the beauty of his game, and that's why you also
would think led by Kobe Bryant. Kobe with 29 points, 6 assists. You see Amari Stoudemire, 11 of 15, 23.
Kobe's gone out and earned it. He's done a little bit of everything, but he's been the best player on the floor tonight.
East led by LeBron James was 28 points, and it's going to be a backcourt violation. LeBron 11 of 19 for his 28 points. The West has already set an assist record with 49. The record for most points in an All-Star game, 155. The West did it in 2003, but took double overtime. That was the game played in Atlanta. Stoudemire kept away momentarily by Bosch and then able to power it in. He has 20 points. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. There's Stoudemire ahead of the field.
Amari just out.
147-123. Bosch draws the foul, and we'll send it over to Craig.
Well, Ray Allen in his 7th All-Star game, but enjoying this one as many as any. I saw where you took your shoe off when Coach told you were done for the night. Collecting autographs. Talk about it.
Well, in the back it's somewhat of a madhouse, so I figure I get started early, make sure I get all these guys to sign this.
You have all the West teammates there. If you were choosing MVP, which autograph there would you think would win this award?
Let me see. I didn't sign it yet.
You better go back in if you can win the award.
Hey, I'll go with this one right here.
Oh, here.
I'll go with that one right there. I'm coming. See,
now Sean Marion wants his too.
It gets real contagious. It gets real contagious in the locker room, so it's good to start right now. Because you see a lot of shoes coming out of the locker room, a lot of jerseys. So I know a lot of guys will be out. Sometimes you miss players, so it's good to get them while they're on the floor now.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you, Mark.
All right, Craig, here is Stoudemire, and it's put down by Anthony.
Mark, would you sign my wingtip before we take off?
I'd be so honored.
I've already done it, Marv, so I got him during that timeout.
All right, here's Johnson. Bosch.
How about talking about the Toronto Raptors a little bit? How good have they been this year? I mean, you got to talk about Sam Mitchell as a possible Coach of the Year candidate, the job that they've done. They could win that Atlantic Division here, and that would be quite a feat for that team.
Record of 29-24, and they have won 8 of their last 10 games. Chris Bosh, certainly the cornerstone of this vastly improved Raptors franchise.
Now, Brian Colangelo's done a nice job with that team. He and Sam Mitchell, the Bargnani, the rookies, done a good job. How about Calderon and Garbajosa to the international players, Anthony Parker.
And the trade for TJ Ford is a big move, too, to add a point guard to the mix. And I think they're not just a team that's going to make the playoffs. I think they could do some damage. They've got a pretty nice balanced team.
An alley-oop to an uncontested Amari Stoudemire, thrown by Tony Parker.
And Marv, the funny thing, he's looking over at Duncan because he tried to do one to Duncan before, and Duncan says, I can't jump.
See 68 field goals made tonight by the West, another all-star record. It's been a record-breaking night for the Western Conference. 52 assists. That is an all-star record. Want to get close to the stars in Vegas? Log on to NBA.com for TNT Overtime Courtside, which will give you a live all-access pass to every event at 2007 All-Star in Las Vegas. TNT Overtime is on all the time at NBA.com. 45 seconds to play in what has been a wipeout. It's been the West virtually all the way. They've led by as many as 33. Bryant to the rope first. Put the speed on. 31 points for Kobe Bryant. I believe he will be receiving the trophy.
It's the exclamation point right there.
Here's Bosh.
Chris Bosh.
Down to 15 seconds. 155 points.
How different
is the record?
Mark, how different it is, though. If Kobe wins the MVP, they're actually chanting Kobe. The last time he did in Philadelphia, it was his hometown. He got booed.
So the final score, the West 153, the East 132. The West falls 2 points shy of the All-Star Game record for most points, which was 155 set by the West back in 2003. Back with the announcement of the All-Star in a moment.
Thank you, Las Vegas. Thank you for welcoming us. Thank you for treating these transcendent stars to a spectacular time. We couldn't imagine a better reception, and we thank you for it. We also thank the NBA players and everyone in the NBA family. the coaches, the retired players, the wives, the moms, the WNBA, the D-League, that gave meaning this entire week to what NBA Cares is all about. Traveling the community and doing good. And tonight, a night of putting on the world's best athletes on this spectacular stage, there was one star who was the brightest of them all. He had 31 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 6 steals. The most valuable player of the Las Vegas 2007 All-Star Game, Kobe Bryant from the Los Angeles Lakers.
Kobe, that makes 2 of these, and when you won it in 2002, the magic number was 31 points. How does this one feel?
It feels good. You know, it just felt good to come here in Las Vegas and play. You know, we had a good time. It was a great weekend, and you know, hopefully we put on a pretty good show.
You turned Doug Collins into a prophet. He said before the game that he was your pick for MVP before you guys even tipped it off, and said he had a conversation with you.
Yeah, he told me about his pick, and I just wanted to come out and play hard and have a good showing.
First time ever in Las Vegas. What's your initial impression of what we've seen here over the last few days?
It was great. Hopefully we can come back.
That is Kobe Bryant. He's your All-Star Game MVP. Nice going.
All right, thanks, Ernie. Kobe at 31 when he won MVP honors in Philadelphia several years back, but tonight receiving a much more favorable reception. We'll be right back.